of Excessive BS. So we appreciate it. Had a good turnout last week. We had some good feedback. So we hope everybody joins us and jumps in here. We joined a little bit by everybody. We're joined with Rizzo. I think for all you ones that join in on the football that hasn't got a chance to watch racing, Moonshiners racing yet, he is our leader of the Moonshiners racing, but you've heard his voice on the other football shows, Quarter Blitz. So Rizzo's welcome on camera with us for the first time. So welcome aboard, Rizzo. Then we got the Frenchman and Bunny is always with us. And with that being said, I'm gonna jump over here to French, guys, because French is big into the WBC. So B-Row, if you're out there listening tonight, we're gonna start with the WBC, and we got Venezuela with USA tonight at 8. French. USA, they had a struggle. I'm not gonna say a struggle, but they definitely had a battle against the Dominican in their last game. They won 2-1, and then Canada 5-3, with their only loss being to Italy right now. French. I know you're pumped about this because I'm pumped because of the leadoff hitter for Venezuela. I know being a Braves fan, you're big with Acuna. I hate seeing that he loses. It's hard to pull against Acuna just because he's so awesome. But of course, I hope the U.S. wins tonight. But give me some thoughts on this and what you're most excited about to see in the final tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight, this final's going to be something else. USA pulled off a big win the other night against the DR. Paul Skeens pitched his way out of a couple jams. About 3 innings in a row.
He's nasty, man.
Got good defense behind him. They got big, 2 big home runs, one by, a second-year guy. Last year he's a rookie. And to be on that stage and hit the go-ahead home run, it means a lot. Roman Anthony. I hate that he plays for the Red Sox and all, but hey, right now, everybody pulls for everybody when it's on the USA team. I'm even, kind of pulling for Bryce Harper, even though can't stand him.
That's tough.
But that game tonight, what can you say about it? Venezuela, they're going to hit it. They got great defense. They got, the pitching staff top notch. You hit it. I don't want to pull against Acuna, but man, this is WBC. It's all USA.
Absolutely.
So this game tonight's going to be another good one. Last night, I watched most of the Venezuela and Italy game. That game, come down to the end again. And, Venezuela got 4 big ones. I think it was in the 7th. It was about, I think I fell asleep before it happened, but, pulled off a big win. That Italy bunch is not bad. You wouldn't expect it being a bunch of Italians, but, the semifinal games were, both really great. And it just sets up this big matchup right now between Venezuela and USA. I think this might come down to, what part of the lineup hits in the 9th inning. I could be wrong. I don't see it's going to be a 1-2 run game either way. I don't think it's going to be very high scoring because the pitching staff on both sides is really good. I'm looking 2-1, 4-3, something around in that area. But, tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox. I might not make it to the end because they want to start it late, but I'm going to watch most of it at least.
I appreciate that insight. Bunny, let's get a report from the Papa. Has the Papa been watching any of the WBC?
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting the chat up and going. Yeah, he's been following it. he's been keeping up with everything that's been going on, so he's pretty excited to have baseball back. Still waiting to see what's going on with the Braves and the Braves TV. I know that'll make him pretty happy to get that back up and going. So
Yeah, Papa ain't
he's
gonna be
missed the
happy.
Braves.
Yeah,
He's missed the Braves.
yeah. I'd say he's like me and French. It's gonna be a torn household with the Acuna being the lead off for Venezuela.
Yeah.
Rizzo, any thoughts on the WBC?
Yeah, USA, man, good team, really good team. A lot of people were counting them out going against DR the other night, and sure enough, they showed up. I will say though, I was really hoping we got to see a rematch between USA and Italy. At 2-2, my White Sox guys are on that Italian team. So Sam Antonacci and Kyle Teal. Kyle Teal is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, but still be good to see those guys play again. But yeah, no, this Venezuela team, they are legit. So it's going to be a good game, and I think I agree with French. It's going to be a 2-1, 4-3, 3-2. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be about pitching. Both teams have a great pitching staff, but I'm obviously going to go USA on this one. I think they get the job done. They avenged their loss a couple years ago against Japan. Japan's not in their way. They beat the DR. Some said that was the best team. They get through Venezuela, and you get the WBC finally.
I agree with both of you. It's all red, white, and blue tonight. Let's go with let's bring home the gold, America. I agree with you all for sure, 100%. With that being said, Rizzo, let's just stay with you there. Before we jump into the March Madness, guys, we've got a big April show and we've got a big NFL show coming up, which I know everybody's going to be excited about. I know I am to get back into the baseball and everything, or football, sorry. Football and everything. But let's jump in here. I don't remember, I think me and French discussed this a little bit beforehand. I don't know how much we touched on it, but the the Max Crosby trade and everything, we'll touch into a little bit of news, but let's hear your thoughts on the Max Crosby trade here, Rizzo. This just messed so much up. I mean, you had the Raiders go out and spend 300 and I think $50 million the next day. So, give us a little justification or what you see on this and how this affects the whole NFL really.
Yeah, it definitely affects the whole NFL. The way I think who it affects the most is the Ravens. I think it'll affect them the most because teams now, I mean, sure, they have the right to deny a trade due to a physical, but denying a trade 4 days after a failed physical, yes, air quotes over that because it's BS. But it really is, and I think teams will look at that when it comes to trading with the Baltimore Ravens. They're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to give them good deals, and I'm sure they will feel the ramifications of this trade or the lack of this trade for a while because teams looked at that and this goes back to there's a couple more trades in their history that they've done stuff like this. And obviously, they just like earlier this past year, they traded Jair Alexander to the Eagles for a certain amount of money. And the Ravens said, yeah, no, he's cleared to play. He could play. Jair Alexander, a day later, after getting traded to the Eagles, he couldn't play. And he failed a physical, and they traded like for his contract and all that. So it was BS. And I think teams will look at that. On the side for the Raiders, though you spent all that money reassuring the O-line with Tyler Linderbaum, getting 2 studs at linebacker and Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, getting help on the D-line, some more edge rushers, some DBs, and a wide receiver, and Jalen Naylor, or I forgot his name. The team's gonna be a whole lot better, even though like their GM and the Raiders kept saying, "Yeah, he doesn't fit our timeline." And sure, you're now paying his $30 million a year contract. $30 million a year for Max Crosby, I think, is a bargain. If you look at how much money the guys he's compared to, they're getting a lot more. $30 million a year for Max Crosby with all the guys you just paid is pretty awesome. If you think about it, they're about to draft who we all know who they're going to get. it's pretty obvious what they're going to do. So having him on a rookie deal with all this money spent, they're almost in a they're not because they're the Raiders in a win now mode, but they're really not. But the way that they have the roster constructed, the sky's the limit for this team. There's no, it's only could go up for them. I get it; it sucks money wise, but it's good for them, and I think they'll reap the benefits of keeping him and having all the additions that they added.
Yeah, and I don't think the Raiders make these type of moves without moving Crosby. So, I mean, hats off to them. That maybe pushes them towards, that ledge that they may have never stepped out on otherwise, by doing this. French, throw your 2 cents in here, and then Bunny, let's hear your thoughts. I agree with Rizzo and what he's saying with the Ravens, but I also, I don't know. I mean, do the I don't know. Let's hear it.
I mean, my thing is, we all know how Max Crosby is, what kind of player he is. Yeah, now granted, he did get hurt at the end of the season. There was a legit injury. That's why Oakland wanted to bench him, put him on the bench the rest of the season. The last 2 games? So, he was probably to that point where, yeah, you don't need to play to take a chance on injuring himself even more. But there ain't no way you can tell me that Max Crosby failed a physical. I mean, he is a freak of nature off the end.
Well, I heard, now I don't know if it's true or not, I heard that the Ravens upped their protocol, their physical protocol. I don't see how that couldn't be investigated by the league if that's the case.
I still think the only reason why is because they saw that Trey Hendrickson's market
I do too.
is so low that they're like, okay, we don't have to give up 2 first-round picks and $30 million for an edge rusher when we could get a guy that's 2 years older at $29 million and don't have to trade away our future. But at the same time, he barely played it all last year. He had hip replacement surgery or something like that.
Yeah,
but I agree with that. I agree 100%. Cheaper deal. You got 2 guys. You bring in a guy that's going to be serviceable for a few years. Then you're going to go out, try to polish up somebody out of the draft, and then you're reset automatically. But for Crosby, you're going to be hurt in 2 years.
I don't blame the Ravens for what they did, but my biggest question, like I said, is if they done that, did they raise their protocol as far as being what the physical requires to be passable? Is that possible? If so, and that's what they did, how can that not be investigated by the league at that point?
I almost wonder if they don't need to go to a third party, somebody that's through the NFL that does all the evaluations and then gives those teams their own kind of evaluation of it, because we're going to have to do something, or we're going to see what the Ravens done happen more and more in the future. But for what the Ravens did, it was smart on their part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt the NFL does anything because it kind of reminds me of another current situation that was going on with a different team, that being the Bears. And their assistant GM, Ian Cunningham, left for a promotion of a full-time GM for the Falcons, and they didn't get their 2 third-round pick compensatory picks that by rule they should get, and the league deemed it that they don't get because he took a position or a role that was basically just a lateral move rather than a move up a position, even though the Falcons themselves have said, no, he is our GM. He's making the football moves. It makes no sense. And I think the NFL, they're not going to do anything. It's just going to be the teams policing themselves, I guess you could say, in this situation. And I think the Ravens will, they're going to get out scot-free in this situation, but the other teams will hold them accountable.
That's true. That's true. French, any more to add on to that?
No, it's just, get me that point when we'll get in deep and I don't need to.
Yeah,
It's just something that pisses me off that they allowed all that to happen.
I agree. I 100% agree, and I'm like you. I gotta sort of pull the brakes as well because that's going to be a hot topic just all the way across, and that'll be brought up when it comes draft time because, like we know that's going to affect the draft now. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. One final piece of news that I had here was the new game being played on Wednesday night. They're stating the opening day game is going to be played on Wednesday, with the following game or the Thursday night game being played in Australia. So they're saying it's because the NFL couldn't schedule a Friday night game or something, whatever the nature may be. What's your thoughts on this? NFL, I feel like, and I'm here for it, but at what point will we be able to do podcasts or fantasy? When does that start? I feel like the NFL is trying to get to at least playing one game every day of the week. Like they're already now on Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Now they're going to Wednesday. At the end of the year, they're going on Saturday. So that leaves literally, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Wednesday, so Tuesday. So what's your thoughts? Do y'all more NFL? Do you like it staying to a Sunday strictly, with now the Thursday staying in and the Monday? What's your thoughts on that? Friday, they don't play on Friday. What's your thoughts on that?
The NFL knows they're going to make money regardless of when it's going to be on TV. So the more days they're on TV, the more money they get, the more time they take, the more they could sell sponsorship for commercials. It's all a money move, and I'm sure there's logistically this makes better sense for them as well. But it's cool. It's cool that they keep doing these international games, but at the same time, I prefer, and I think we all agree. I think we all prefer seeing it at legit home games, for each team, because the fans being involved and all that. But it's cool to try these new things. But yeah, this is all just a money move, in my opinion.
I agree. French?
Definitely. I mean, your fantasy people, I mean, it'll really throw a wrench in, the way you got to play in your week. I'm all right with Thursday, Sunday, Monday, but this starting on a Wednesday, start of the year, I don't understand. I mean, Rizzo, you're right. They're going to make money no matter what. Everybody's going to watch it. Whether or not it's on Prime or NFL Network or whatever, they're going to watch it. Heck, they'll probably pop up and say, oh, we're going to play this on Netflix. So, there ain't much you can do. Ain't much you can say. I mean, we've all got our opinions on different things on that, but why change it? It's been this way for how many years, and then you go and change it up just because they want to. Well, it just makes more extra money on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I mean, I really sit here and think that this is the first time that the NFL said they couldn't do something on a Friday, because I feel like the college football is made for Saturday. And at the end of the year, they push the national championship out to Monday. There's no major college games on a Monday. So therefore, I really think that you need to, we'll give you your Thursday night. You do Sunday and Monday and leave that. You have Thanksgiving Day. That's fine. That's been tradition for years.
Yep.
But don't start scattering it out on Tuesday, Wednesday. And I don't know that they would go to Tuesday. I think that Monday's going to be your traditional end of that week. But Wednesday, you're going to have a lot of people upset with that. Here locally, you're not able to play anything on Wednesday past 6:00. But that's just part of it. And maybe that's the direction we need to go. Maybe it was just this one year. It may never happen again. But Raymond, you said it was the NFL's first Wednesday game.
Yep.
They want that first. So I hope it isn't something we see going forward. Do it for whatever reason. I did try to find it, could not find it as to why, but it is what it is. We're going to watch it and we'll go on.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the, like, you know, y'all sort of said, we're all going to watch it. It ain't going to matter what they do. So I agree. All right, guys, let's get into the major heart of discussion here. And that is March Madness. That is the topic at hand. I do not watch a whole lot of college basketball in regular season, but man, I will be glued into my TV starting at 12 o'clock on Thursday. We will be traveling to Wilmington, but I will have it on my phone and I will be watching. I will have money on those games because here in the state of Tennessee, it is legal to gamble. So if you ever hear us talking about it, it is because it is legal here. So we are good to do that. With that being said, for any of you guys that don't have Facebook, it may be on just TikTok or YouTube. We're doing a contest. We would love for anybody and everybody to jump in, get in it. I know we've got almost 10 entrants already. I know we've got some that's getting in already that's not. So we're looking to surpass the 20 mark this year. So hopefully we get to see everybody in. Just message myself or Bunny, Robert, Adams, Michael on Facebook. But if not, let us know. We will get you entered. And if you are, help me out on the name, Michael, that we commented back. If you are, what's the name?
If you are,
that guy that commented earlier.
oh yeah, if you left a comment on our social media, just drop us a DM and we'll get back to you. The way our business is set up on Facebook, we cannot send direct messages to you through our Depot Street Sports. So that may be why, but we will get that fixed and uploaded.
Back. Yeah, we can message
Yep.
you back. We just can't initiate it. So whoever commented earlier, if you watch this,
was it Johnny Painter?
No,
Johnny
Bonnie,
Painter texted me. I don't know if y'all got him in or not.
No, I'll send you the
We'll
password and username. Yeah, I'll send that to you, French, and the details when we get off. Actually, I'll send it over to you now. What to send him because I just sent it to Bunny. So
yeah. Well, while we're doing that, I mean, I'm excited about it, Raymond. I'll say this: I watch a little bit of basketball. Of course, I'm the UT fan. But personally, I sit here and I can tell you more about women's basketball in the NCAA than I can the men. I just enjoy watching it, and I've always been that way. I may get some flack for that. But when it comes to March, I'm extremely excited about what's going on. I remember being in school and stuff, especially in the college, sitting there through class trying to sneak a look at what's going on, or getting out of class and being somewheres in, Food City. I would put it in the shelves when I was a night stalker there and just be able to watch the tournament. So, I mean, this is one of the greatest times of the year. And something else, Raymond talked about the draft there earlier, but we've got the Masters coming up here in just a short little bit of time, and I'm really excited about that. We're hitting this stretch of sports, and it's a really fun time outside of football season. So, but whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Kyle, I'm getting you that link. Hold on, I'm sending it to Kyle right now, guys. We got a viewer watching us that's asking for it, so I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and get started though, and I can run my list down here at the end. While I get this sent. We're gonna start here in the East, guys. Let's just do the round of 64 starting off, and let's just pick what we got coming out of the East. And
go round by round.
I've entered our contest group. Y'all will probably enter if you haven't already. So we'll all end up knowing who's going to win at the end for bragging rights. So With that said, Bunny, get us started there with your East round of 64 picks.
Yeah, so starting at the top for the East, round of 64, I have Duke winning their first matchup. We've only seen it 2 times that a 16 seed has beat a number 1, and it's not going to be Duke this year. Next, I have TCU over Ohio State. It's been very well known that the Nines do have a percentage over the 8 seed. St. John's over Northern Iowa. I'm going Kansas against Cal Baptist. I'm going with the upset here, South Florida over Louisville. I think that's a really good matchup between those 2 teams, and I do think that in March, South Florida is going to take that one. Give me Izzo with Michigan State, UCLA, and UConn.
All right, I like those. I've actually got a couple of meetups with you there. So Rizzo, jump in here. Give us your East round 64.
Mine is actually pretty much identical to his, except my only big change is I got Ohio State over TCU. Ohio State's been playing lights out the last little while here. So, yeah, I got Ohio State over TCU, of course, Duke, St. John's over Northern Iowa, Kansas over Cal Baptist. I also have South Florida. I think that's a team that can shock people, but it's not really shocking when we already all have it. Michigan State, you got to pick Michigan State in March. I also got UCLA. I think they're rated a little too low at 7. Sure, they started off slow, but they're picking it up at the right time. And then, of course, I also have UConn in that first round.
I like it. I like it. French, how close are you along these lines?
I'm pretty much spot on with everybody else. Of course, you know, I got that number 1 overall team winning the first one. I did go with TCU over Ohio State. That 8-9 matchup, I mean, we all know it can go either way. Both of them are pretty even. Ohio State is playing pretty well, but so is TCU. St. John's, they're just, I think they kind of got the shaft. I think they're higher than a 5 seed. They've all hit on it. St. John's should have been higher than a 5 seed. In my opinion, they should have been the top ranked 30 seed at least, if not a 2 seed. Kansas, I did also go with South Florida over Louisville. Louisville's been up and down all year. You never know what you're going to get out of them. As bad as I hate to, going with the Tom Izzo and the Sparties. UCLA over Central Florida, and I did go with UConn over Furman. Look, this East bracket is stupid.
It is.
Why in the world would you put that many good teams in one bracket?
Well, French, you know, you said that there was St. John's, not to cut you off, Raymond, but
No,
UCLA is a 7 seed. I think they're a little low of being a 7 seed.
Yeah, no, they are. I like them. I mean, I feel like this entire bracket's pretty good. Like, there's a lot of good teams in there. Like, I mean, we're gonna get to it, but I also really like the Midwest region. I think there's a lot of good teams in the Midwest region. This bracket's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, to even add on to just the stackness of it, I agree with y'all's picks all the way down. I took TCU as well. Of course, Rizzo, I didn't think we'd be on any islands today, but should have known it would have been Ohio State and you. So there you go. That's a good island for you. But the other one that I took, guys.
So,
go ahead.
There's 32 national championships won inside this East bracket.
Wow. The other upset that I took in this one is I took UCF over UCLA. I could see it happening. That's the other upset I took. That's why I took it. I feel like there could be some major upsets. I feel like if anybody else was coaching Michigan State, I feel like North Dakota State could pull that upset. I'm like y'all, like South Florida. But yeah, that's my other upset in that is the 10 over the 7 UCF. So We'll jump into the South here next, and I'll lead this off. I'll go down the list here. Not sure. I've got a couple upsets in this one as well, but I've got Florida. I took Iowa over Clemson. I feel like 8-9. You touched on it. That's a coin flip, 100%. I like Vandy. Hey, I picked them to win the SEC, and they didn't, unfortunately. But I'm going Vandy. I'm going with Troy with an upset over Nebraska. I like it, and I like VCU over North Carolina. With North Carolina's main part, Williams, I think, at them being out, I'm going VCU this first round. But then I got Illinois, St. Mary, and Houston, top seeds to round it out from my side.
I'll go next on it. I'm going Duke over TCU.
Oh, we're in the South.
No, we're in the,
Oh,
we're in
you're
the
going
South.
straight down. My bad. I was replying in the chat.
You're good.
So in the South, I'll go Florida. Iowa over Clemson. I think they've got a few injuries that's going to really hurt them. Give me McNeese over Vanderbilt. And I'm going to double upset here. Give me Troy over Nebraska. I'm going to have that 12-13 seed in this bracket. VCU's going to go over my Tar Heels. I am a secret Tar Heel fan. I think the injuries and just they're not playing where they need to be at. Illinois, St. Mary's, and Houston. That's my round of 64 there for the South.
I'll follow up. I also have Florida winning there. I also have Iowa over Clemson. Both teams play really slow, but Iowa is just better overall, I like to say. I have Vanderbilt over McNeese. Now, you guys keep saying the 8-9 matchup is the one that is a lot, but every year there's at least a 5-12 upset.
There it is.
And McNeese and Vanderbilt. McNeese is a good team, but they're good at everything. Vanderbilt is great at defending, and vice versa. So I'm going to go Vanderbilt in this one. Cool matchup here with Nebraska and Troy. Both teams have never won a tournament NCAA March Madness game. So one of these teams will make history for their schools, and I have that being Nebraska in this situation. Next up, I also have VCU. The injuries to Tar Heels, I just don't know if they can overcome that, but I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if they can. I also have Illinois over Penn, St. Mary's over Texas A&M, but I could see an upset happening there. But St. Mary's, I think, is just a more complete team. And then I have Houston winning as well.
So I went with Florida, but I can see an upset. I see Lehigh beating Prairie View. And Lehigh, because I've seen it before,
I was about to say,
upset that number one team in that bracket.
We want to talk about the last time Lehigh was a 16 seed.
Well, we won't talk. That's not
I
important.
think it was a 2-15 when they.
I think it was too. The only one seed that beat by 16 was Virginia, I think, a few years ago. Can't remember who beat them, but it was Virginia.
Well, I've seen Lehigh upset in the first round of 64. We won't go no further, but I could see that happening. They're riding the high right now. Student section chanting the other night that they want Duke after they won their conference title. Clemson over Iowa. Of course, I'm going to stay in the ACC. I think that matchup's going to be pretty good, but I think it's going to be more Clemson. I don't see an upset. Vanderbilt beats McNeese, no problem. Nebraska over Troy. As bad as I hated to go with it, North Carolina over VCU. Even though Caleb Wilson is out, they still got enough firepower to make it past VCU. Illinois over Penn. I'm going with the Aggies to win over that 7 seed St. Mary's, and Houston beating Idaho for the 2-15.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have enough potatoes to get them through this basketball matchup. All righty. French, lead us off with the West, my man. You ain't started a division yet, so hit us off with the
Well,
West.
West has got. I mean, it's not the toughest, but Arizona over Long Island. Going with the Wildcats of Villanova over Utah State. Wisconsin over High Point. Woo Pig over Hawaii. They're riding a high. Calipari's got them playing pretty well right now. So here's the shocker in this bracket for me. I'm taking either winner, either Texas or North Carolina State, to beat BYU.
Okay.
Gonzaga over Kennesaw State, Miami over Missouri, and Purdue over Queens.
Wasn't it you talking about Queens being just what, a 2-loss team? Last show?
Was it Queens?
I think it was Queens or somebody. Hey, Purdue's a team that does not play well in the March Madness at all.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Queens. They're 21-13.
Okay.
High Point was 30-4.
Okay. All right. Well, Bonnie, you want to hit up the West next here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with French, Arizona, Villanova. They both move on. I don't think either one of those have much of a issue there. My upset in this bracket is High Point. I'm taking High Point over Wisconsin. I do like that 12-5 matchup there, and I think they're coming with nothing to lose. Arkansas and Calipari, you was right. They're playing hot right now. SEC tournament. It's their time to shine, and I think this is where we see them move on in the tournament. BYU, Gonzaga, Miami, and Purdue, I'm pretty chalk the rest of the way.
Rizzo?
I actually have some differing games here, so this will be pretty good. But I have Arizona, but this is where we differ. I have Utah State over Villanova. I think they've played better as of recent. So I got Utah State there. I have Wisconsin over High Point, but I think this Wisconsin High Point game is going to be one of the best games of the first weekend. Both teams shoot the hell out of the basketball, right? And it's just who's going to stop who. I trust Wisconsin's defense. I mean, they beat Michigan earlier this year. We've seen them do that. I could see Wisconsin going far in this tournament. I have Arkansas as well. They're playing pretty good right now. I do have BYU still over those two teams there. I have the Gonzaga over Kennesaw State. Miami over Missouri, but this one will actually be in Missouri, this game. So that's something interesting to take note of there. So that could be an upset with Missouri being at home, but then I will end it with Purdue over Queens. Now, Purdue, like you mentioned, they do not have the greatest track record in March, but at least in this point, I have them winning the first game.
All right, I like it. I'm pretty well on slate with y'all. With Arizona, I'm going with the Villanova. Bunny, I like the High Point pick. I didn't figure anybody else would be going with High Point, but I'm also taking High Point to pull off the upset on Wisconsin. Arkansas, BYU, Zaga, and as you all know, it pained me enough to put Florida as a winner, so I damn sure ain't putting Miami also. Give me the Tigers of Missouri. Let's go. And Purdue finally to round it out against Queens. And Rizzo, you have not started this one. I'll piss on your damn Miami shit. Piss on that, man. I'm done with your Miami stuff. So, yeah. Another, you getting you a loss. You getting back on that loss train this year. Just get ready for it. JUCO coming to save us. Coming to save Norval. JUCO.
Oh, man. Well, I'll start off Midwest. So I got Michigan, as much as it pains me to say it. I have Michigan to win. I then have St. Louis going over Georgia in this one. I I think if St. Louis was placed anywhere else in the tournament, like not the 9 seed where you had to go against the 1 seed, I think they can make a run. But in this case, I do have winning Georgia, but I kind of just allude to my next pick. This next 5-12 matchup, this one's going to be a big one. I think a lot of people are picking 12 Akron here. I have Texas Tech. Even without Toppin in there, CJ Toppin, their best player. We've seen them play without him before, and they've still beat better teams than Akron. So I could see the Texas Tech Red Raiders getting the win there. Then this might be a shocker, but I have Hofstra over Alabama. With everything going on over Alabama, I got Hofstra. I mean, I just there's a lot going on with Alabama, and they are terrible at rebounding the ball. So yeah, give me Hofstra in that one. And I got Tennessee over Miami, Ohio, SMU. Listen, I'm a MAC guy. I went to Ball State. The most MAC thing ever happened, and Miami, Ohio losing in the first round to UMass. Miami, Ohio is not going to win. I hate to say it. I'm a MAC guy too, but it's just not going to happen. I know how MAC teams play. Tennessee's going to get that win. Give me Virginia over Wright State, and then I have another upset here. Give me Santa Clara over Kentucky. I just felt like that. Yeah, I know, kind of shocker. Wow, yeah, upset over a blue blood, but yeah, give me Santa Clara over Kentucky, and then I will take Iowa State, a team I actually really like in this tournament, over Tennessee State.
Alrighty.
I'll jump in there. Go ahead, Raymond.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go for it, brother.
All right. So I went with Michigan. I took St. Louis. But I did take the upset with Akron over Texas Tech. I do have Hofstra, Tennessee, Virginia, and I took Santa Clara over Kentucky also. And then Iowa State.
I'm pretty well spot on. Michigan, St. Louis. I took Akron as well. I like Akron over Texas Tech, but I did take Bama. I took Bama, Tennessee, Virginia, Santa Clara over Kentucky, and Iowa State.
I went Michigan, but then I also went with Georgia to pull off that win against St. Louis. I also did go with Akron. I just don't. Texas Tech's pretty good, but I mean, if Toppin was playing, okay, it's automatic for me. I'm going with Tech. But I went with Bama as well, Raymond. This Alabama team can put up numbers. They might not be able to rebound well or nothing and all this stuff going on down there right now, but that squad can put up the numbers. I mean, I'd have to look at it, but I guarantee you they're close to averaging 80, 85 a game. I mean, they put it up. Shoot the ball well. Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, Iowa State. So now I got a question while we're right here. Knowing that Miami of Ohio doesn't have any quad one wins, any quad one games. They ain't played nobody, really. But to go, what was it, 31-1, 32-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your all's opinion? Should they have got a regular seed where they didn't have to play in the playing game? Or do you think this is right, setting them at the 11 seed but having the 11 seed playing game?
I think they deserve to be in. One loss is impressive. I don't care what you do. I don't care what league you're in. One loss is impressive.
Yeah, everybody's going to have that off night. It just happened to be at the worst time for them. And one loss, you should at least been a 10 seed. If you wanted to punish them for not having that type of schedule, 10 seed easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should be in as well. It's just the way they've won their games, though, at the same time, like barely winning some MAC games against some inferior MAC opponents. They should be in it. It's just I don't know if they should be really high.
Yeah, and I'm okay with them not being really high, but I still don't think that they deserve the treatment that they're getting. I agree with French on it. I don't think they deserve that treatment.
I mean, they probably, even if they get in as a 10 or a 12, I don't see them winning the first round game. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they stand a chance against SMU.
I think it's the other way. I think they could beat SMU, but I don't think they stand a chance against Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think they'd stand a chance against Tennessee.
If we're talking about a team that should and shouldn't make it, my dad would be mad if I didn't mention how Indiana State should have made the tournament 2 years ago. So I
He
just
would
had to
be
throw it
very
in there.
mad. He would be very mad. Yes, he would be highly upset about that. Okay, cool. So we got our round of 64 done, guys. So let's go into the next slate of games. French, we'll let you start it here in the East with your number 1 overall seed this time. So we'll let you jump in there, brother.
I got Duke winning over TCU. I got St. John's beating Kansas. I ain't gonna lie, I thought twice about picking Kansas in the first round. But I see that they're right there setting up a big matchup with Duke and St. John's. I got the Sparties beating South Florida. I was stuck on this one, and I went ahead and went with my gut, and I went with UConn to beat UCLA. Bobby Hurley in the playoffs. It's going to be hard to do anything with him.
Okay. Bunny, jump in there.
Yeah, I'm going with Duke over TCU. I think they make it through the weekend. St. John's over Kansas. I also have that matchup. Michigan, Sparties, they're going to the Sweet 16 here. And I'm going to throw the upset here. Give me UCLA over UConn.
Ooh, wow, big upset. Big upset. Okay, I like most of y'all's matchups here. I like Duke, but give me Kansas over St. John's here. I also like Izzo. I think just experience gets him Sweet 16 here. Give me Michigan State and UConn, too powerful. I've got UConn going, so I've got some blue bloods for sure into the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have Duke over Ohio State. As much as I like to see Ohio State go far, I don't think it's going to happen. I also have Kansas over St. John's. I just think that team could turn it on at any point. I have Michigan State over South Florida, but I could totally see South Florida going on a tear. I
Yeah.
really do. And then I'm joining Bunny on this upset here with UCLA over UConn. UCLA, they started off slow, but once they got rolling, they are a good team, and they're playing good. So I'm gonna go UCLA over UConn.
Okay. Bunny, get us started in the South.
I have Florida beating Iowa. And in my 12-13 matchup, I've kind of bounced back and forth here between McNeese and Troy. I'm sending Troy, the 13 seed, to face Florida in the next round. Then I've got it cakewalk here, Illinois and Houston in St. Mary's and VCU's run.
Yeah, I'm literally almost just through Florida, Illinois, Houston, all spot on. But I've got Vandy instead of McNeese. I had Vandy winning it, and I've got Vandy over Troy. So I've got those for Vandy, Florida, Illinois, and Houston. French?
I'm right there with you. I've got Florida, Vandy setting up that rematch where Vandy smoked Florida in the SEC tournament game Saturday.
Yeah.
And then that big matchup right there. I think that matchup right here, Illinois, North Carolina. Caleb Wilson being out, I don't think they'll have enough for Illinois. And I've got Houston taking out Texas A&M. to set up a really good matchup right there with Houston and Illinois in the Sweet 16.
Mine's pretty similar to you guys. I have Florida over Iowa. I have Vandy over Nebraska as well. And then I have Illinois over VCU. And then with chalk as well, I have Houston over St. Mary's.
Sounds like we're pretty close on that round, guys. Let's go to the West. Rizzo, get us started. I'll bring up the Midwest. Go ahead with the West here.
Yeah, I got Arizona over Utah State. This next game, another really good game. Arkansas, Wisconsin. This could go either way, and I think the only team that could give. I mean, I don't know. I said the last Wisconsin game was gonna be the game of the week. This could be as well, but I went Arkansas in this situation. Next up, I went Gonzaga over BYU, even with their injuries. And then this might be a shock to some, but I went Purdue over Miami. I think they get that monkey off their back. You know, they just had a rough couple weeks. They win the Big Ten, and I think they get 2 wins here to start off the tournament.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, I'll go next. I'll go Arizona, Arkansas, Gonzaga, and I'm going Missouri with the upset over Purdue. Don't like that track record with Purdue, so give me Missouri.
Go ahead, French.
I'll go next. I got Arizona. I think that game right there with Villanova will be a pretty good one. But in the end, I think Arizona is just too powerful. Arkansas, Wisconsin, Rizzo, I'm right there with you. It could be another, really good game. But I had to give the edge to Arkansas because of one factor, and that would be John Calipari.
Yeah.
I got Gonzaga winning either over Texas or North Carolina State. And I've got Purdue winning over Miami. I think, preseason number 1, they had a little rough spot there for a little while. I think they're back in the end of the year and they're playing pretty well. They've kind of turned the page and got back on to where they were expected to be at the beginning of the year. That this team was the team to beat at the beginning of the year. So I think they're right back to where they were supposed to be. Give me Purdue to knock off Miami.
Taking them Boilermakers.
I'm going chalk going into the round of 16. I've got Arizona, Arkansas, Gonzaga, and Purdue. I think that's just the way this region ends up.
All right. Man, Purdue, just their last couple appearances is what I can't go with it. I just can't. But anyway, in the Midwest, I think Michigan, they run St. Louis's run here. I've got Michigan. I like Bama beating Akron. I do. I feel like they ruined that run. This next one was a tough one for me between Tennessee and Virginia. But I feel like the hometown boy, Jacoby. If y'all have not heard our interview, go listen to the interview. We interviewed Jacoby last year. But I feel like hometown boy, he's had the experience. He's been to the Elite Eight. So with last year with Maryland. So I feel like that plays a big factor here. So give me Tennessee over Virginia, and I like Iowa State to finish out Santa Clara. Go ahead, Bunny.
I'll jump in. Yeah, I've got Michigan ending St. Louis's run here. I have Hofstra and Akron in this matchup. I'm going Hofstra, the 13 seed, over Akron. I agree, Raymond. Even though I am a Tennessee fan, I don't know which Tennessee team we're going to get week in and week out. I'm actually going to take Virginia here. It's going to end Tennessee's run. And I'm going Iowa State to move on to the Sweet 16.
I'm right there. I got Michigan knocking off Georgia. Alabama knocking off Akron. I'm with you guys. This Virginia Tennessee matchup. this Tennessee team don't play as a team. There's games that they play together, and then there's games where, just like the other night, you got 3 of your bigs that go 3 for 21. Because they try to do too much. They got to realize when you're this part of the year, you got to play as a whole. I hate to see it, but Virginia ends Jacoby's run. The Wahoos are playing really good. Look, I'm gonna tell you, that Duke Virginia game, I was on the edge of my seat for the last 5 minutes. And I also got Iowa State knocking off Kentucky.
I have Michigan ending St. Louis this season. I have Texas Tech over Hofstra. And I also have Virginia over Tennessee. I think that's a coin flip game, like you guys said. And then I also have Iowa State over Santa Clara.
Well, my track record, Bunny, when I bet with Tennessee, it's usually not good. So you guys are probably going to gain some points on me right there. So just going to go ahead and throw that out there.
But if they play together, like French was saying,
yeah,
they're a dangerous 6 seed. I just don't know which team's going to show up.
Jacoby, with that experience, I think could be a key factor too.
I agree. There's a lot of other question marks on that Tennessee team right now.
No, for sure. The East coming into it, guys. I'll start the East off. My 2 teams coming out of the East to battle for the winner of the East will be Duke over Kansas, and I have UConn over Michigan State. Bunny, who you got?
So I'm going to end Duke's run here. Give me St. John's over Duke. Give me St. John over Duke here. When was the last time we seen a true number 1 overall seed win the tournament? I think Duke is capable of it, but the statistics do matter to me. Give me St. John's over Duke here. And I'm going with Sparty over UCLA to make it to the Elite 8.
Sparty and Izzo, you taking them far. I don't have that much faith in them. Rizzo, who you got?
I have Duke over Kansas. I have Duke winning that one. And then I have Michigan State over UCLA in this one as well.
Another Sparty. French, you got Sparty going that far too?
I absolutely do. I've got that big matchup that we see all the time. Duke, Michigan State in the Elite 8.
All righty. Rizzo, give us your South.
All right, South. I have Florida over Vanderbilt. I think they get the revenge in that game there. Going to be a really good game, and I think it's going to come down to final seconds in that one. And then I have Houston over Illinois. That's going to be a slow game, but I have Houston and their expertise in this one over Illinois.
French?
I'm with Rizzo. Florida gets their revenge over Vandy. I'm sorry, Vandy's not a 20-point team better than Florida. And I've got Houston advancing over Illinois.
French, I'm spot on with you out of that South. I've got Florida over Vandy. That's their revenge game, and Houston over Illy. Bunny?
Yeah. I've got the same thing there. I've just got Florida over Troy because I have them going to the Sweet 16. Houston over Illinois.
Yeah. All righty. French, give us the West.
West, I've got Arizona ending Calipari and the Razorbacks going and moving ahead. And I've got the Zags beating Purdue to set up that matchup with Arizona and Gonzaga.
I'm going to jump in here and I will say I've got Arizona beating Arkansas. I like the Cats over Calipari. This is where Calipari always dies off, I feel like, and another year, another same result. And I like Gonzaga over Missouri here. Rizzo?
Yeah, I actually have the same two teams. I have Arizona over Arkansas in this one, and I have Gonzaga over Purdue. I think Purdue has a chance with their experience, but I think this is where their season ends against Gonzaga.
I've got Arizona over Arkansas. I agree. This is where Calipari falls off, but I have Purdue over Gonzaga.
Ooh, you got faith in them bullet makers. I don't know about it. Well, go ahead there, Mr. Bullet Maker, and lead us off with the Midwest. There, you Miami fan. I know you got them probably got winning damn championship. I'm sure.
No, I'm going Michigan over Hofstra. This is where the 13, the Cinderella run ends, and I have Iowa State over Virginia.
Go ahead, Frank.
So this is where I have Michigan's run ending. They play really good. Their defense is really good. Their offense is really good, but there's going to be that one game, and I've got Alabama knocking off the number 1 seed, Michigan, in that Midwest, and I've got Iowa State beating Virginia.
Rizzo?
I've got Michigan over Texas Tech to move on to the Elite Eight, and then I have Iowa State over Virginia.
I'll be the consensus on the Iowa State. French, I just about went Alabama. So me and you're up, we're the same up to that point. And I just about went Alabama, but I stuck with Michigan. But I don't mind that pick. I like it. Like it a lot. All right, guys. So that's going to get us down to one more game for the Final Four. Just go ahead and give me your Final Four teams, and I'll let Rizzo start us off here.
Yeah, I've got Duke over Michigan State. I think people are going to see Duke as a pretty good team. They're going to move on to the Final Four like usual. Then give me Houston over Florida in this situation. And then I've got Arizona over Gonzaga. And then the last one, I have Iowa State over Michigan. I really like Iowa State.
We have a lot of the same teams in the Elite Eight. Go ahead, Bunny.
I got St. John's over Michigan State. I have Houston over Florida. Then I have Arizona over Purdue and Michigan over Iowa State.
French?
Well, of course, I've got the Dukies and John Shire outdoing Tom Izzo and the Sparties. I've got Houston beating Florida. This Arizona Gonzaga game, we know how them teams out of the West play, but I think Arizona's got a little bit better of an offensive group that play really good defense. So I got Arizona over Gonzaga. And Iowa State knocking off Alabama to go into the Final Four.
I love the fact that every one of us put Florida out this round. I'm so glad of that. It pained me to have to mark them winners all the way up this far. But glad we all got, nobody has them winning this one. So great news. I got Arizona over Gonzaga, and I've got Michigan over Iowa State. My big game, and I think this is for me going to be the game of the tournament, and that's the Duke UConn game. I'm excited to see that. That's what I feel like it's going to come down to. I hope it does anyway. But I've got UConn advancing over Duke into the Final Four. I think that is going to be a hell of a game if we get to see it though. And then so in the Final Four, I'll give you my two picks right here. I've got UConn versus Michigan. in the national championship. I got UConn beating Houston, and I've got Michigan beating Arizona. So I got 2 seeds and 2 1 seeds. French, give me what you got.
I've got Arizona knocking off Iowa State. They've already played, and that game's been a doozy both times, but I think Arizona's going to get them one more time. Duke going into the national championship with a win over Houston.
French, we got the same one here. I got Duke over Houston, and then I got Arizona over Iowa State. And that Arizona Iowa State in the semifinal game was pretty good, but I have Arizona repeating as the victor in this matchup.
I'm going Houston over St. John's, and I'm taking Go Blue over Arizona.
Finally, somebody. I didn't know if anybody was going to pick Michigan with me. All right, guys. Who's your national champion? I'll start it. I've got my tiebreaker at 142 points. And I've got the Huskies beating the Blue. Give me Huskies. UConn, national champs. Again. 142 tiebreaker. Who wants it? I'm not going to call anybody out. It's just who's going to do it.
I'll go. I have Duke, Arizona in the national championship. I have the tiebreaker set at 145, and I have Arizona over Duke. I know no one west of Texas has ever done it, but that Arizona team is a complete team, and I think they will finally get it done. Every time, though, I pick Arizona in these damn brackets, they lose first round every time. So, this year I was like, I can't do it. And then I was watching, I was like, I mean, come on. I got Arizona winning it, but if that's the case, make sure you bet to whoever they play in first round, because usually that's how it ends for me.
So my matchup, I've got Duke, Arizona, tiebreaker at 149. With my Blue Devils bringing home the national championship.
I knew you was going that road, French.
All right.
Common sense.
Good thing they don't have that Lehigh.
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
thinking.
Yeah.
You wasn't looking through there to see who they had to play. You were looking through there to make sure that Lehigh was not in the East.
Exactly. We've got enough tough teams in the East. We don't need Lehigh to sneak up and bite somebody. It happens.
Yes, it does.
Well, to wrap us up here, my tiebreaker is at 136. And Mr. Brian McCauley, if you were watching out there, I will give this one to you. Go Big Blue.
Going with the Wolverines. I know Rizzo's loving that. That's his favorite team. So we'll drop it there.
Terrible pick.
Hey, at least French ain't hating on anybody here because nobody picked North Carolina. So I think we all knew that was out the door when Williams went down, which I think we all knew that beforehand. But
that North Carolina team's just so up and down, and now they lose a key piece. Wilson, there's not words that you can talk about. He's just
Wilson. Yeah.
He's just an athlete.
Yeah. Guys, we want to apologize to everybody that was waiting on us to go live last night. I'm wrapping up. Sorry. Just jumped the gun there without telling everybody what I was doing. But wrapping up here. Last night, Bonnie and French, myself, we were all ready to go. Cletus was on. He was ready to go. But every time he would log into Teams, it would kick him off automatically. If anybody's got any ideas as to why, let us know, because all 4 of us have joined well. So we would love to know. Any of you tech savvy people, let us know why that may be the case. But other than that, I will not be live next week. No excessive BS next week. As far as the normal talk show goes, I will be traveling for work next week, so I will not be here. But I think French and Bunny will be here next week. They have an interview lined up. We are trying to, I don't want to announce anything. I'll let Bunny or French announce that because we're trying to get another person lined up. I think, is that next week, Bunny? Or we're trying?
No, we're going to try to get that one lined up here in a few weeks. But what we have on deck right now is next week we have Maddox Mitchell with Houston, softball player. And the following week, we have somebody coming in from Milligan on the 30th. So be on the lookout. We're going to try to run all of our shows, our interviews and stuff on Mondays if possible. So be on the lookout, ask questions. If you've got family members that's out there that's playing softball or whatever, if you've got a child that's playing softball, baseball, and you want to ask these questions, things that me and French may not think about, and we can throw that out there. Jump in the chat, and they're more than willing to answer anything that you have. So just jump in, be interactive, and yeah, we're having a great time doing it.
Yeah, and I know you listeners are. I know you guys, ladies, are loving the softball interviews right now. So, we'll try to keep those rolling this summer. We'll work on some NFL or some football players and some more basketball players. But I know been some talks with some people for some football. So hopefully we can get something lined up there in the coming times. And Rizzo and Bunny, I know you guys are rolling on Moonshiners Racing over there, so we appreciate that. If y'all haven't got to listen to them, they're on Wednesday nights and they're always great. Had a special guest last week. Bunny, you can tell a little bit about who he is if you want to real quick.
Yeah, Christian Wilson. He was with Amazon and Dirt Vision. He sat down with us, talked there at the beginning of the show for a while, and really interesting getting to kind of see his background and what he does with those two companies, and as far as it goes with being at the NASCAR track and week in and week out, and what he does on the Dirt Series. He is out of North Carolina, so it was really nice to meet him. And I'm working on a few more names there for the Moonshiners Racing. So I know that we're in season. A couple of the guys that we're talking with, it's really hard to find that time to sit down, but hopefully we can make it all work out.
Absolutely. So yeah, join. They're usually 8 o'clock on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. Yeah. So be sure to check them out. April, guys, I know we got a big show coming up in April, as I was saying earlier. Draft show. I run some ideals by Michael or by Bunny. We may be able to do that live if y'all want to. We'll talk about it later, but maybe do a show while the draft's going on, the first round of the draft, and then we can talk news in between draft picks and during commercial breaks if y'all wanted to, and recap the draft as it's going on. So if y'all are interested in doing that, let me know. But anyway, hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show. We appreciate all the listeners. And with that being said, anybody got anything else?
Not tonight.
All right, guys, let's go UConn. Need that win. If y'all hadn't joined, go join the league. You got a couple more days. So we appreciate you joining in and talk to you in a couple weeks.
See you